Hi guys, and welcome back to another video game with the powers. I'm Jake, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys a playthrough of Skytear Horde Monoliths, the brand new standalone expansion for the game Skytear Horde. Now, before I dive into this playthrough, when we go down to the table, I'm going to talk about some of the changes that they have made to the game here. There's a lot of different small little rules tweaks that they've made, and there's some difficulty tweaks that they've made to the game as well. So that it seems like they've really taken a lot of feedback from the community here on how to kind of tweak and improve the game a little bit. So let's go ahead and jump down to the table. I'm going to talk about the changes that they've made and the difficulties and all that stuff, and then we'll jump right into this playthrough. Alright guys, so we are down here at the table where we have everything set up for a solo playthrough of Skytear Horde, specifically the Monoliths edition. Alright, so there's a lot of stuff on the board right now. Some might be familiar, some might not be familiar to you, but essentially the overall premise of the Skytear Horde, if you are not familiar with this game, is you're going to be playing cards out in these different lanes as such right here, and the computer is going to be having cards on the other side. Y'all are going to be doing battle back and forth together, and your ultimate goal is to kind of bust through these portals right here to get what's called the outsider out into play. And then once the outsider is out in play, you're going to take your cards to defeat the outsider, and if you manage to defeat the outsider, you will be victorious. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the changes from the original Skytear Horde game to Skytear Horde Monoliths, okay? Pretty much, let's talk about the setup first. So with the setup, a lot of the setup is going to be the same except for a couple things. Starting off with the castle cards, okay? So specifically with the castle card, you will take one castle for your color here. So we're going to be playing with the Liothan Shapeshifters. That's the deck we're going to be using today. So I will choose my castle, all right? And then what's kind of neat here is they have given you a castle health token, all right? So you will now track the health of your castle using your mana, the mana bar here. And so this plus 10 side is going to be 10 plus 10, so your castle starting out with 20 health. Once it gets down to 10, you'll just flip this over and then track it from there. So that's one small little change that they've made here with the castle card. All right, the next thing, this is a big one here. Let's talk about the portals. So they have added in some new portals that will completely do away with any of the old portals from the original Skytear Horde. And I'm pretty excited about that because the issue with the original portals from Skytear Horde is there was like 3 different sets of a portal for each mode that you wanted to play in. So solo had 3 different difficulties, 3 different sets of portals. Cooperative, same thing. Versus, same thing as well. Here in the game, what they've just done is given you 3 sets of portals. So you guys can see here, this is the solo portal right here. So I got these solo portals. There's going to be 2 cards that'll say cooperative, and then there'll be 2 cards that will say competitive. And no matter what difficulty you are playing the game in, you will always use the solo portal for solo, cooperative portal for cooperative, and versus or competitive portal for competitive. So they have done away with all those portals, trying to figure out difficulty, things like that, and have basically just refined it down to 2 cards. Now they have added some stages, so these new portal cards, if I can bring them up here for you. So you will see stage 1 on the back side is going to be stage 2, and then you will have a stage 3, and then on the back side here you will have a stage 4. So now there is 4 stages to every single portal, and your portals will behave just like they did in the original Skytear Horde. They will be rotating, and if they get destroyed, they will have some effects there. So that's a big new change for them. The next thing, let's take a look at these minion cards. So they've actually made new minion cards. So here are the new minion cards in Skytear Horde. You can see now, it says if the Zephyr minions gain 4 or more attack, they gain trample. All right, that is the change here. They made these new minions a little bit easier compared to the original minions in Skytear Horde that automatically have trample no matter what the amount of health is. They recommend for your first couple games in Monolith that you use the minions for monoliths. If you do like a challenge, then you can bring in the original Skytear Horde minions and play with those. Also is going to be the setup for the health. So if you are playing a solo or two-player competitive game, you will always start the minions with 1 health. If you are playing a 3-player competitive or cooperative game, all right, if you are playing a cooperative game or a 3-player competitive game, you are going to start with 2 health on the minions. All right, next let's go ahead and take a look at the Horde deck. So this is where they've kind of changed up the difficulty here. So now each card you will see at the bottom is going to have different colors. So there's 3 cards that are going to be the exact same. So we got stone bombs, but they're each going to be a different difficulty. So blank, white, and purple. And you'll notice as the colors changed, as the harder the difficulty you want to play is, I can't talk right now, the higher difficulty that you want to play, the more stuff these minions are going to do. So at our base difficulty here, it just says run-of-the-mill minions gain 2 health, add stone bombs to them, blah, 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 right? The medium difficulty would be the run-of-the-mill minions gain 3 health, and then the hard difficulty would be run-of-the-mill minions gain 4 health, okay? So with the base cards now, each card is going to have its own individual difficulty, and depending on what level of difficulty you want to play, you will mix and match these cards into the game. And there's a little table that they show you here in the rule book, so you can see if you want to play level 1, it's only blank cards. Level 2 is blank and white cards. Level 3 is all the white plus 1 random black. Level 4 is all the white, all the purple, all the black. Level 5 is all the purple and all the black. And just so you can see, we have like the mythic monster cards are black, okay? So basically what you would do is take those desired difficulty that you want and shuffle them in there. So today, the recommended is going to be the level 2, starting with all of our blank and white cards in the game. Okay, so that's where we're going to start off here. And then probably for the rest of my playthroughs involving Skytear Horde, I might go up the difficulty a little bit depending on how we fare. All right, one other change to the Horde deck itself is they have removed all of the common cards. So if you remember any of the common cards from the original Skytear Horde, which would be these cards that have this little circular symbol in them, they have completely removed these from the game. These are no longer needed to be added into any of your base decks. However, they do say if you would like an added challenge, you can go ahead and remove them as well. They've done this to help the ease of the setup and the teardown of the game, which I think is pretty cool because it was kind of a hindrance to take all these, drop them in there, and then have to sort them out at the end to be able to do that. So that is one of the other changes that they made. The difficulty now for each deck is tied to the actual cards in the deck rather than the specific portals. Okay, next thing to change, the outsiders here. So they have now brought in multiple outsiders, okay? So there's going to be, and actually I'll show you in the rule book, there's going to be 3 types of outsiders now. All right, so you're going to have an enchanter, a colossal, and an immortal. All right, your immortals are going to be your basic outsiders from the original Skytear game. Your colossals are going to be that colossal expansion where they're like 3 in a row, and your enchanters, okay, are going to have effects that are active for the entire game. All right, so we are going to be facing the purple circle here. All right, and its effect is reinforce 3 at the start of the game. So with an enchanter, it does not matter where they are. They can be outside of the game area, not even be called into play yet. They can be in the outsider pile. It does not matter. Once the game starts, this effect is ongoing and permanent. Now, thankfully, this one just says reinforce 3 at the start of the game, and that's the only time this purple circle is going to activate, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side and reinforce 3 at the moment. And so reinforce 3 is just going to be add 1 health to the minions. Now, normally it's going to be the minions with the lowest health. However, since they are all equal, I get to choose. So we will go Zephyrite. All right, now what happens is we go 1 at a time. So Zephyrite has 2, so I can't choose Zephyrite anymore. Next, I'll go Onikai. And then now I have to choose between Radamil and Yetnar. We're going to go Radamil, all right? So there is my reinforced 3. So that's the change, and that is going to be everything specific to our setup, all right? And then basically what we're going to do is we would draw some cards, and then we're ready to play. So I'll talk about some of the other specific changes as we continue to move through the game here. So let's go ahead and let's talk about my castle first. So I have the Barap of Grelith, all right? So this is Freyhol's castle. I can exhaust to pay 1 mana and summon 1 exhausted troop token, all right? So they have a whole stack of troop tokens here that are 1 attack and 1 health. So I can summon an exhausted one in a lane of my choice, all right? So that's gonna be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and give our deck a shuffle here and see what they get. Also, real quick, you might have noticed here that we have some white tokens. I went over those in the unboxing, that those are now temporary tokens. So instead of us having to use dice, or most of us use dice to track the, let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Instead of us having dice to track the armor or attack for 1 turn, we now have these temporary tokens. Okay, so I have the option to mulligan. All right, I can discard any number of cards, draw back the same amount. Let's see what we get. We have a spell, Rise Again. So remove up to a total of 2 health from any ally of yours. Summon 2 troop tokens with +1 attack. Oh, that's pretty good. Spring Watch, the Royal Guard. All right, that's a 5. That might be a maybe. Royal Marksman for 3. Move Royal, I might keep that. Spell Rise Again, let's get rid of that. And Bear Up Star for 7. Do I want to hold on to that? Maybe. I might hold on to that. Let's go ahead and get rid of these 2. Let's draw 2 more. Skytear Protector and Herald. Man, I got some big cards. All right, let me go ahead and reshuffle my deck back up, and we are ready to play. Okay, so I have my mana token here. We got my castle. We got Onikai with 2, Zephyrite with 2, Radamil minions with 2. We have our portal here. Give it a look at one more time. So it's going to give us 1, 2, 0, and 1 summon. When this portal is destroyed, I will reinforce 2 and place the outsider on the bottom of the outsider pile. Again, that reinforce is give that health to our minions. Okay, so let me go ahead and collect my cards here. Now we're going to go through the stages of the game here. And again, some stuff has changed with these actual turns. So the first phase is going to be that mana phase. Nothing has really changed here. We will gain mana equal to the portal, which for us is going to be 4. So I'll go ahead and get up to 4 mana. All right, summon from the Horde deck. This is going to remain the same as well. We will just take the top card of the Horde deck, place it, put it in play, and then if there was more than that, we would summon them all first and then activate, all right? So let's go ahead and activate our Fire Breacher. So what does this say? Play only kind minions, gain +2 health, and strike the castle. All right, so let's go ahead and get them +2 health, and they strike the castle. So 4 damage to my castle, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Castle down to 16 damage. That is a treachery effect, which is going to do nothing, so this spell will go ahead and get discarded. Now, that was the summon from the Horde deck. The next phase now is technically summon from the outsider pile. So if anything was in the outsider pile, we would now summon it. The change being here is that in the original game, the outsider pile will not get summoned until the end of the phase, end of this horde phase, all right? Next, what we're going to do, this is another change as well, we're now going to rotate the portal. So our portal will rotate immediately after this horde phase now before we start our alliance phase. In the original Skytear Horde, that portal would not rotate until the end of the turn. So now we go to the alliance phase. So we go to me. All right, there's a couple things that have changed in this alliance step. As usual, I can play any card from my hand by paying that mana cost in the top left-hand corner. I play that mana cost, put them in the lanes, in the respective lanes, and do what I need to do, right? That can be an ally, tower, spell, attachment, whatever, okay? Some of these might have an exhaust ability. Let's just say this guy was in play. To simply exhaust a card, same thing, we would just drop it down in this next lane, and then he can still attack, but he won't be able to use any more exhaust abilities. I can still discard alliance cards of my choice, so anything in a lane I can choose to discard that is still kept from the original game. Okay, now here's a couple changes that they have made to the game. Let me put some of my alliance people out right here. The first one is anytime I want to move or swap positions of my allies here, I must now exhaust those allies, okay? So if I wanted to simply move my Skytear Protector over to this lane, when he gets moved, I must exhaust him. This means that this Skytear Protector can no longer move to another lane for the remainder of this turn. When it comes to swapping, we are going to exhaust both the allies that are swapped. So if I did something like this, they both get swapped. So now the big change here is you can only move one character to another lane. You can only move them once to another lane, can't move them back and forth. And anytime you swap, both those characters get exhausted as well, all right? So that's a big change that has been made to the game here. Engage minions. Also, anytime you engage a minion, you must exhaust your character as well. And that's massive, because here what's going to happen is I will not be able to move, right, and engage a minion in the same turn, all right, because he is already exhausted. That is a huge change to the game. I'm wondering how that's going to impact the way things are played. The last thing here is your castle, and this is kind of cool, is always going to have a universal exhaust ability. So at any point in the game, no matter what your current ability on the castle is, it's always going to have exhaust, pay 1 mana, and draw a card, all right? So that is one of the new, those are the new changes here we have to the game. So let's take a look and see what I got. So I have Rise Again, which is remove. Okay, that's a spell. I got a Royal Guard. Really, I can either play this Skytear Protector or my Royal Marksman. So after you gain mana during the Alliance phase, Sky Protector gains +1 and +1. I can exhaust him to gain 1 mana. That's the Treachery phase. I can move Royal Marksman to a free adjacent lane. Then it deals 1 damage to a monster within 1 lane. All right. Ooh, that's pretty good. I think what I want to do is get this Skytear Protector out. So that's 4, bringing him down to 0. We're going to put him in this free lane right here. So after you gain mana during the phase, so we're going to play him. I think I'm going to exhaust him to gain 1 mana. All right. So I'm at 1. I really can't do anything else. And I can't pull any of these minions in the back line, which I probably should have thought about that. That makes things tough. So my turn is now over. So we would go to the Treachery phase. Of course, we're going to discard. Treachery phase is going to remain the same. All right, and this is going to be an effect that says the portal gains +2 armor for the remainder of the turn. Oh, that is devastating. That is devastating right there. Okay, and then we would go, I have the ability to do any other Treachery phases, which I don't have any. Okay, And we will now go into the fight phase, so I would go ahead and attack the portal, but the portal has 2 armor for the remainder of the turn, so it takes no damage, alright? And that is the fight phase again there, and I forgot to mention, with the treachery phase, there is no changes. It's super simple. Either it's going to have a lightning bolt, which you read the treachery effect, or it's going to have swords on the left or right, and that monster's attack will get boosted, okay? The fight phase is going to remain the same, right? You would activate any of the Horde cards' fight abilities, your fight abilities. You guys would strike in the lanes, deal damage to each other, and then continue to resolve the lanes. Of course, if a ally is unengaged with anything, it deals direct to the portal. If a Horde card is unengaged, it deals direct to the castle. And whatchamacallit, if they're together, they're going to strike each other. And actually, I just realized I wanted to do something real quick. I will spend 1 mana to exhaust my castle here, and I can summon 1 exhausted troop token. All right, so I should have done that earlier. I forgot about that. So we would have that exhausted troop token. Again, he would have fought but dealt no damage to the portal there because it was armored up. So that's that fight phase. We now go into the pillage phase. So the pillage phase is the same as normal. That's going to be a lot of cards. So that's 4, that's 8, that's 9 cards from the top of the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Oof. I got to take care of that very quickly. Okay. That is the pillage phase. And then our end phase is we would remove any temporary tokens that needed to be removed. We would ready all exhausted cards. All right, and then I would discard down to 7, and then we would basically come back up top, starting with another turn from the mana phase. All right, so what we're going to do is go ahead and gain mana, so we're going to get +4 up to 4. All right, we would go ahead and summon from the Horde deck 2 cards, so we'll put both these 2 cards out there, and we have a Gale Strike and a Frost Tread. So what does Gale Strike say? The Yetnar minions gain 3 health and +2 attack and charge the strongest ally. All right, so let's go ahead and resolve this. So we have Yetnar minions gains 3+. Actually, I got to do him. After you gain mana during the alliance phase. Oh wait, do I not gain mana now? Interesting. Hold on a sec. It says after you gain mana during the alliance phase, Skytear Protector gains +1 and 1. I wonder if that's a ability with him. Each player takes as many actions to play alliance cards. All right, here's a question for Skytear. So here's a couple things that I just realized. So in the rulebook, it says start another turn from the Horde phase. Okay, which would mean you jump straight to the Horde phase. So they're saying you would skip this mana phase, but to start a new turn, follow these steps, gain mana. Each mana plays Gary. So I wonder if that's a misprint in the book, because it says nothing here in the alliance phase about getting mana before that. So I wonder if it's a misprint in the book. I'm assuming you would start back up top in the mana phase, but it says after you gain mana during the alliance phase. That's a good question. I wonder if that is a misprint or it means that when I exhaust him, I gain 1 mana because I gain it during that alliance phase. I'm going to take it and read it as is here. After you gain mana during that alliance phase, so he really should have +1. He really should have +1 attack on him and +1 health, okay, because I exhausted him to gain mana during that phase, okay? So we're back to this Gale Strike. So the Yetnar minions are gaining 3 health. All right, so we got 1, 2, and 3 going to the Yetnar minions. All right, and then they get +2 attack. All right, +2 attack as well. All right, and because the Yetnar minions have more than 4 health, they will be trampling. And it says they charge the strongest ally. So let me see what charge says here for us. To charge left or right, place the monster in the leftmost or rightmost lane without monsters. To charge the weakest / strongest ally, place the monster in the lane of the weakest / strongest unengaged ally, if any. So they're going to charge the strongest monster or ally, which is going to be the Skytear Protector, okay? But they're not going to attack. It just says charge because they're just going to engage in the lane, all right? So that is our Gale Strike, all right? Now we need to do the Frost Trench. So the Yetnar minions gain 2 health and 1 armor. Oh, jeez Louise, man. So let's do... let me just take this away and add a 3. All right, that add a 3, and I get +1 armor. Good Lord. Okay, these people are cracked out. That's a permanent armor, and so you see the difference here. So the permanent armor is going to be the darker background. The white background is going to be temporary. So here they gained 2 temporary attack right there. All right, and then here they gained 1 permanent armor. All right. Good night. So those are the 2 things for me. Okay, so now I'm at 4. Let's see what I can do here. That's 7. That's 7. Remove up to a total of 2- from any of your allies. Man. Well, pretty much this thing's about to decimate me. Let me go ahead and exhaust him to gain 1 mana, putting me at 5. He will also, and actually that should be a permanent, so I messed up there. He'll gain another permanent attack and another permanent health. All right, permanent health, putting him at 3 health and 3 attack. Okay, so really the only thing I can do is play 3, 1, 2, 3, and summon this Royal Marksman, all right? We'll summon this Royal Marksman, and I'll put him right there in that lane. So 1 attack, 3 health. I can move Royal Marksman to a free adjacent lane during the exhaust phase. Then it deals 1 damage to a monster within 1 lane. What I need to do is, let me do this troop token. I'm going to pull this Zephyrite minion in. All right, exhaust them. And I think I will exhaust the Royal Marksman to pull the Radamil minions in there, okay? That is going to be the end of my turn. So now we would go into that next phase, which is going to be the Treachery phase. All right, Gale Strike, the portal gains +1 health. All right, portal gains +1 health. So we're going to go ahead and add +1 health to the portal. Okay, so now we would move into the fight phase. So we're going to go ahead and resolve this. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so they have trample. So they're going to deal 3 damage to my Skytear Protector. So 6 is going to break through to my portal. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and 6. So we have 10 health left, all right, on my castle. And I'm only dealing 2 damage to this guy. 2 damage because I have 3 here, but he's got 1 armor, okay? So he is defeated. All right, my Skytear Protector is defeated. We now go to the Zephyrite and Troop minions. So 1 damage is coming off. He gets defeated. He does not have trample because they need 4 or more to deal with trample. All right, and then we will deal 1 damage, and he's only doing 2 damage to me, so I get to take 2 damage there, and they're staying in their lanes. Okay, now we would go to the pillage phase. So monsters in the back line, so only 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 there. All right, those are defeated. And then we would go to the return everybody back to their lanes. So Radamil minions there, Zephyrite minions there, Yetnar minions over here. All right, and then we would remove all temporary tokens. So remove all temporary tokens. And we would discard down to 7, but we don't. We will unexhaust all cards. I keep forgetting I have this castle to pull out troop tokens. That's what I need. I need these troop tokens, all right? And again, I'm going to assume we're starting back up top with that mana phase. So I would gain another 4 mana, bringing me up to 6. Oh, I forgot to actually rotate the portal. Again, see, I'm used to rotating the portal at the end, not after that phase. So we would summon nothing from the Horde deck. So then we would rotate the portal. All right, we would rotate the portal and we would go to the Alliance phase. All right, so I have 6. Well, I really can't do a whole lot. I think for 3, I'll play this as 1, 2, and 3. So remove up to a total of 2 negative health from any of your allies. And I can summon 2 troop tokens with +1 attack on them for each. All right, so +1 temporary attack for both my troop tokens. That is my spell, Rise Again. Okay, that kind of actually worked out. So let's see. Man, these minions need to go, but at the same time, they actually mark it to a free adjacent lane, then it deals 1 damage to a monster within lane. But if I move her, she's going to get exhausted. So I need to pull. Man, see, this is that tough part. If I pull a minion, I have to exhaust. So troop token right away, I think, is going to pull I have to pull the Onikai minions. All right, we will pull the Onikai minions. That deals within 1 lane. Ooh. Troop token will pull the Yetnar minions. Well, no, I don't know if I want to pull the Yetnar minions. I think I pull, so that's 5. See, it's pillaging 5 cards. Yeah, I just have to do it for 1 damage. I don't know if it's worth it though. I think Royal Marksman, well, no, she's blocking. Man, see, that's tough. Okay, we'll see how this plays out. Troop token is going to do nothing. Royal Marksman will pull the Zephyrite minions in there. I'm going to do something risky. And I'm basically going to end my turn there. So let's see. The Treachery phase, so the Onikai minions will gain +1 attack. All right. And we're going into the fight phase. So I'm dealing 2 damage. He is dealing 5. 4 is coming to my portal. 1, 2, 3, 4, my castle. Sorry, so I'm dealing 2 damage to him. All right, and this troop token goes bye-bye. All right, troop token actually goes out of bounds. Okay, this troop token will do 2 damage to the portal. So 1 damage goes away, 1 damage to that portal. And the Royal Marksman and Zephyrite minions will attack each other. So 1 damage, and I basically hit him for 1, which kills him. All right, sends him back to the back line, allows me to draw a card, which is Clan of the Ice Fish. All right, 1 attack, 5 health. Play, remove 1 damage from an ally and 1 damage from the castle. All right, that's not bad. That is not bad. Okay. So that was our fight phase right there. We would now go into the pillage phase. So 3, 4, 5, 6 cards from the top of the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, we would now go ahead and move into that end phase. So unexhaust everything. And again, I keep forgetting about my castle, that I can pay 1 mana to get these troop tokens out here. Oh my goodness. All right. So basically going back up top now to our mana phase. So I'm getting 4. So I'm at 7. We would go ahead and actually move him back. He needs to go back. This needs to be gone. All right. We would summon 1 Horde card into the lane. All right, let's see what we got. We have Stone Bombs, all right? So Radamill minions gain 3 health, attach Stone Bombs to them, and the attached monster gains Pillage. This Pillage is 3 cards and gains 1 health. All right, so this is our Radamill minions. So Radamill minions gain 3 health. All right, and this is going to be attached to them. So let's go ahead and drop this underneath them so I can see that effect. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so that was that summon. We would now rotate the portal card there. Let me make sure I'm just doing everything correctly. Yep, rotate the portal, and then we go to our alliance phase. Okay, so I have 7, so I can play him, which is Heroic 2 after an ally destroys a monster, rebuild 2. Or we have Herald. Play, gain 2 mana. During the fight phase, Herald deals 1 damage to all monsters within 1 lane. Ooh. What do we do? Do we knock out this 3? I think we play the Barith Star, all right? So I'm going to go down to 0. I'm playing Barith Star in the, this is gone as well. I'm playing Barith Star, so Heroic 2. What does Heroic 2 do for us? As long as this card has 1 or more damage, it gets plus X attack. A card with Heroic X gains, alright, so if it has damage, it gets plus 2 attack. Alright, after an ally destroys a monster, I get to rebuild 2, which that is, I believe, take 2 cards from my discard pile and put them back, bottom of the respective deck in any order, okay? So that is that. Alright, so now I need to pull some monsters in. So Barith Star is going to pull in our Radamill minions. Alright, my troop token, okay, he's gonna pull in the Onikai minions. And, interesting. So, yeah, I need to find a way to pull those Yetnar minions in. I'll maybe do that next time. Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So we are at 0. Yep, so let's go to the Treachery phase. So boost the rightmost monster's attack. So we will have a boosted Onikai minions attack. And then we go into the fight phase. So dealing 4 damage to me. All right, so that's, let me get some of these minus tokens here. So 3. All right. So we got 3 and 4 damage. I'm dealing 5 damage to the Radamill minions, which will go ahead and defeat the Radamill minions, discarding this stone bombs here. And after an ally destroys, I get to rebuild 2. So we'll just take the top 2 cards of our discard pile and put them on the bottom of our deck. All right, and then he has Heroic 2. So anytime he has damage, they get plus 2 attack. All right. So that was that one. The troops will attack the Onikai, so deal 1 damage to them, and these troops get destroyed. And then the Royal Marksman is going to, well, I should have exhausted her to, no, it had to have been to the Treachery phase. She couldn't have moved there. All right, and then she's just going to deal 1 damage to the portal. All right, so that is that. We now go to the pillage phase. We are pillaging 5 cards from the top of our deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Onikai minions will go back. Anything that's unexhausted will become, or anything that was exhausted will become unexhausted. And then we will start back up top with the mana phase. So I will gain 4 mana. All right. We'd go to the summon horde card phase, which is 1. So we are summoning a fire breather. So the Onikai minions gain 3 attack and strike the castle. Oof, that is, that's brutal. So they will gain 3 health, strike the castle for 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. My castle has 2 health left. All right. That was the only horde card that was be summoned. We are going to rotate the portal here, and we will now go into the alliance phase. So I'm at 4. All right, well, I'm spending 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to play Clan of the Ice Fish. So I can remove 1 damage from an ally, and 1 damage from the castle. Okay, so I'm thinking so he's going to die anyway by taking out those Liothan minions. So let's just remove the damage from my Royal Marksman and then remove the damage from my castle, bringing him up to 3. All right, we are going to exhaust him to pull in the Liothan minions. All right. Onikai has 4 to them. Clan of the Ice Fish will exhaust to bring in the Onikai minions, so I don't have to do that. And I think what I'm going to do is end my turn there. So we are, well, Onikai minions get +1 attack right there. That always happens. Every time I don't want a monster to get boosted, they always get boosted and do something anyway. Okay, so we are attacking for 7. He's going to block 1, but 6 still get through. So he is going to be dead, as well as he is taking us out also. So Liothan minions go back in the back line. We are going to be defeated as well. All right, because he's dealing 5 damage to us, and we only have 3 health. But I did destroy a monster, so I get to rebuild 2. So we'll take both these and put them at the bottom of the deck. All right. I do get to also draw a card because I defeated a monster. So Clan of the Ice Fish. All right. Onikai minions and Clan of the Ice Fish are going to engage each other. So Clan of the Ice Fish is destroyed. And Royal Marksman will deal 1 damage to the portal. Okay. So now we go into the pillage phase. I don't pillage anything. Onikai minions will go back into the back line. We get rid of that. And we now get to move on to the, make sure anything unexhausted would be exhausted. And we would go back up top to the mana phase. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm at 5. We are now going to summon 2 horde cards out. So 1 and 2. All right. And then we will activate them. So Stone Bombs again. Radamill minions gain 2 and attach to them. So Radamill minions will gain 2 health. Attach this to them, which is during the pillage phase. This card pillages 3 cards and loses 1 health. All right. So that was that. Now we have a monster. So 0 attack, 4 health. During the fight phase, pillage a card. Radamill minions gain +1 attack. All right. This is actually going to slide over to fill the lane there. And we are on my turn, okay? So I have 5 mana, 3, I'm going to spend 1, 2, and 3. And, oh, wrong guy. We're going to put that Clan of the Ice Fish there. All right. I will spend 1 mana, exhaust my castle to summon a troop token. We'll summon a troop token right there. And I think what we're going to do is pull these Radamill minions with our troop token. I'm going to pull them there. All right. I will pull them there. And unfortunately, I don't think I can kill them. To a free adjacent lane, then deal damage within 1 lane. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, so that is the end of my treachery phase, or not my treachery phase, my alliance phase treachery. So Radamill minions are gaining +1 attack. All right, now we go into the fight phase. So pillage a card. So pillage a card. And the Radamill minions will gain +1. All right. +1. Okay. And then we're going to engage. So he takes 1 damage. All right. 1 damage comes out to the portal. And he is going to be dealing 4 damage to me. Now it says if Radamill minions have 4 or more attack, they do gain trample. So I would deal 1, 4 is coming my way. So 3 is heading to my castle, which is 1, 2, and 3. And that is destroying my castle. And the Horde is victorious against me. Alright guys, well look, that is a quick playthrough of Skytear Horde. Man, not quite sure how I feel about some of the new changes to the game. I think for me, that was really my first playthrough that was my first playthrough actually, so you guys got to experience my first playthrough. I did make a lot of mistakes and not get a lot of those troop tokens out there, but I'm going to be honest, it still feels a little like the old Skytear Horde, where it's like, man, I just get snowballed so early and you can't really recover, and it just gets so frustrating to me. It felt like I was playing with the common cards. The common cards were all about boosting the minions and things like that, and so I was expecting that if you take those common cards out, then I really wouldn't have to worry about the minions at all. Well, with this Monolith deck, they were just boosting the minions the whole time, and it really felt like I was playing with those common cards. And with those common cards, again, you can get snowballed so early, and it's not really, it's not really fun per se. Now, again, I do want to say again, I did mess up and not put those troop tokens out there a lot. I had multiple changes to put those troop tokens out there, and I think that's part of this deck here. But also, what really is, I just don't understand why they made the change of anytime you move a lane, you have to exhaust your character. That made it so much more difficult, I feel, especially during this playthrough, of trying to manage, like, well, I want to pull these minions in, but move this guy to a different lane, but I can't do both because I have to exhaust them. And once he's exhausted, you can't move and pull a minion in the same turn, so you're just getting pillaged throughout the entire game. So it's interesting to me. I'd love to know the reasoning as to why they made that change. I don't think that was a big change, or I don't think it really gave you a big advantage from the original Skytear Horde. If you know why they made that change, guys, go ahead and drop that down in the comments below. But be on the lookout for more Skytear Horde Monoliths action. I'm going to play a lot on my own and get a feel for some of these decks and see, that was level 2 difficulty. I'm scared to think what level 3 or 4 or 5 is. If I can't even beat a level 2, I'm going to have to try this on level 1, see if I can beat this off camera and see how that goes, and then maybe step up for level 2. But if you guys enjoyed this content, smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and as always, guys, if you are not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe so we can keep bringing you some more awesome content. All right, guys, y'all have a great one. Bye.